The Bridge and the Ladder: How China is Redefining Luxury and Leveling the Game. How Cultural Values Shape the Global Definition of Value and Aspiration. Section 1, Introduction: The Illusion and the Engine. For much of the 20th century, luxury was defined by separation. The bigger the engine, the higher the trim, the more intricate the packaging, the clearer the signal. This was not for everyone. Luxury became a visual code, a ladder of status, and a pricing strategy. But what happens when the symbols we once used to navigate aspiration start to dissolve? What if the very idea of luxury was never a destination, but a tool, designed more for the seller than the buyer? As Chinese manufacturers rise, not just in scale, but in sophistication, we begin to see the emergence of a new aspiration model, one not built on the rungs of stratification, but on the logic of reach. Where the West used segmentation to extract, China uses integration to expand. In this shifting landscape, luxury is no longer about exclusivity, it's about ubiquity with dignity. So the question becomes, are we still climbing the ladder, or have we begun crossing a bridge? Section 2, The Ladder: Western Segmentation and the Profit Model. Western capitalism perfected the art of market segmentation. In automobiles, mobile phones, fashion, even holidays, the model was consistent. Create multiple tiers, each priced to match a psychological identity. Entry-level, mid-tier, premium, ultra-premium. Not necessarily because the products were radically different, but because the pricing ladder created psychological distance. Luxury, in this model, became synonymous with margin. Engine size, feature sets, or packaging often mattered less than the perception of exclusivity. And layered on top of this economic logic was cultural ritual: Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas. Occasions infused with meaning, then monetized with urgency. This system turned aspiration into a recurring cycle. To feel validated, one must ascend. To ascend, one must consume. And to consume, one must believe that each tier carries a unique kind of social worth. The latter was lucrative but also exhausting and deeply stratifying. Section 3, The Bridge: China's destratified model of aspiration. In contrast, the Chinese economic engine has begun to produce a different structure, one that flattens the ladder into a bridge. From electric vehicles to smartphones to e-commerce platforms, many Chinese firms prioritize scale, simplicity, and feature-rich accessibility. A $10,000 electric vehicle may still include modern software, range, and a sleek design, not because it's undercutting luxury, but because it's redefining it. Luxury here becomes function at scale. The goal is not to create artificial scarcity, but broad-based dignity. Rather than maximizing price per unit sold, the aim is often to maximize impact per user, a logic deeply aligned with both national policy and long-term infrastructure thinking. You don't need to buy a Mercedes to feel seen. A well-designed BYD might be enough, because the bridge is built to bring you forward, not to leave others behind. This content is brought to you by Bobby Giggs. Promote your brand here and reach a wide audience across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow the links in the description to get started. Section 4, Philosophical Divergence: Profit as End versus Profit as Tool. This divergence in design isn't just economic, it's philosophical. Western systems often place profit at the center, the final goal, the ultimate endpoint. From this center radiates brand strategy, market logic, and product design. Profit drives behavior, segmentation drives margins, and the consumer is both target and participant in this value dance. In China, however, profit is a tool, powerful, yes, but often subordinate to larger goals: national development, strategic independence, social cohesion. Firms may still chase margins, but often within the bounds of state-aligned industrial policy. This creates a system where infrastructure, digital inclusion, and middle-class expansion are prioritized, even if short-term profits are narrower. This is not idealism, it's coordination, and it reflects a fundamentally different contract between the producer and society. Section 5, Cultural Export versus Commercial Colonization. The West exported desire through stories, movies, holidays, advertising. What it couldn't build physically, it embedded culturally. The iPhone became an identity, Gucci a passport, Black Friday a ritual. China's export is more infrastructural. The Belt and Road is a platform, not a parade. Its products embed values not through symbolism, but through functionality. A low-cost, high-efficiency electric vehicle in Lagos or Lahore carries with it a quiet message: You too can participate in the future. This is not soft power in the traditional Western sense. It's functional soft power. Less about envy, more about access, where Western exports whisper, aspire to be like us. China's approach seems to say, we built this so you could come with us. Section 6, Consequences. A rewriting of global aspiration. As the world consumes more Chinese products, it's not just buying hardware, it's adopting a different relationship to status, to value, to what is considered enough. If high quality can be cheap, what happens to exclusivity? If design is democratized, what happens to the premium brand? If value is abundant, what happens to the need to signal? The Global South, long accustomed to aspirational imports defined by Western standards, is now engaging with a different proposition. A vision of prosperity that doesn't require stratification. This doesn't mean status will vanish, but the pathways to it may broaden, and the latter may flatten into something more like a shared platform. Section 7, Conclusion. The new thread of desire. The thread we follow to make sense of progress, whether through luxury, value, or aspiration, has shifted. The Western thread was a ladder, ascend through separation. The Chinese thread is a bridge, advance through participation. Both use the same raw materials, branding, emotion, design, but they weave them into different fabrics of meaning. One isolates to elevate, the other integrates to empower. And in this transition lies a deeper cultural question. What do we want aspiration to mean in the world we're building? Because whoever defines that, defines the future.